Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. Thank you so much for listening, for watching all my videos, for subscribing. It's so amazing to see you guys there. I just love it. I'm so grateful. Thank you again, and I hope that you guys enjoy my future videos as well. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs, this is a weird thing, so let me explain to you guys. INFJs are having several different conversations in our heads all the time, right? Perhaps we're having a conversation with you out here. You know, you're sitting in front of me and I'm like talking to you about the world or whatever it might be. But I am having a conversation in my head as well, which is 10 steps ahead of the conversation I'm having with you. Our minds move really fast through these permutations and combinations, through these spirals, and we make these random connections that perhaps will not seem normal or apparent to you. For example, a very simple example. I'm sitting here and talking to you about the movie Star Wars and how we're talking about Star Wars and how perhaps there's a movie coming out or something like that. Just an inane example. And in my head, I've already kind of made the connection with Star Wars, with Star Trek. And Star Trek, I watched the Star Trek episode where there's a time travel episode, and the time travel episode showed that time is not linear, that it actually is everything's happening at once. And outwardly, I'll blurt out loud, yeah, you know what, it's so interesting that time is not all happening at once. I mean, it's just so confusing to me. Do you know, what do you think about that, right? You're still in the Star Wars conversation. You're still thinking about, okay, yeah, Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. I have already gone 10 steps ahead or 5 steps, whatever ahead, and I'm bringing that point up to you. In my head, it makes absolute sense. Yes, of course, we're supposed to be talking about time travel. I mean, it's the natural transition, natural progression from Star Wars is to talk about time travel. Obviously, I mean, come on. What are you doing? Why are you so slow? You, on the other hand, are thinking, but I was just talking about Star Wars and the paraphernalia or something. How does time travel come to it? Like, what's going on here? A lot of times this happens to me and I'm sitting there, you know, and like I'm bouncing around from topic to topic because it makes sense in my head because I've already had that conversation and I've already had the connecting points in my head, right? I started off here and I've already had the connecting points. So I've already gone through the process. I've already done that for you. You don't have to worry about that. Just stay with me and keep on progressing through the conversation as I am. Yeah, there'll be missing points here and there, but I've taken care of it in my head. And that's what I think. You have nothing to worry about. Come on. Unfortunately, we're living in the real world where there are people who are in front of us and they're thinking to us, yeah, that's not how it goes. No, you're supposed to let me know how the conversation's progressing and why you bounced from Star Wars to time travel. Explain it to me. ENTPs are really good like that. All of my ENTP friends are amazing. They know that I do this. They know us so well. I love that connection that we have. And so they know I bounce around like that. They will stop me and say, okay, Shikha, we're talking about Star Wars. How did you get to time travel? Explain to me how you got there. And I think to myself, right, okay. Well, you know, we were talking about Star Wars, and I love Star Trek The Next Generation, Jean-Luc Picard. And one of the episodes had time, you know, so that I'll explain to them. I'm like, oh shit, right. I skipped 5 or 6 steps in the middle. I should have talked to you about it rather than skipping right to the end. Does that make sense? I don't know if you guys do this, but this happens to me a lot. And a lot of my ENTP friends will say this to me. They're like, slow down, calm down, okay, go back. How did you get to this conversation point? And I always have to explain myself. They will stop and ask me for an explanation because they know who INFJs are, what are we like, right? They know me specifically. But a lot of people don't know what INFJs are like, right? They don't know we bounce around like that. They don't know that we've already had that conversation in our heads, right? So we have to explain it to them. And that's what I've kind of started doing in my conversation with people is that I won't bounce around so much. I'll try to explain to them. I'll try to keep them going along with me rather than leave them behind in the dust, right? A lot of times we'll just leave behind people in the dust because they're like, well, you guys are too slow. For God's sake, keep up, right? That's what we're thinking. But unfortunately or fortunately, people think at different rates. They think differently. Perhaps they don't bounce around that much. Doesn't mean that they're stupid, obviously. Doesn't mean that they're not as smart as you. They just think differently. And that's what I want you guys to realize, that I'm realizing as well, that people think differently. Right? they don't perhaps do exactly the same thing as you, but you can still have an amazing conversation with them if you keep the pace steady for them. If you kind of include them in the progression, explain to them, how did you get here? How did you get here from Star Wars? Explain it to them so you can have a deeper, more meaningful connection with this person, right? They can understand you better. They're gonna see, oh yeah, that's how her mind works. That's why my NTP friends know why my mind works the way it does, because I've explained to them how it works, right? A lot of times, and that's what I love ENTPs, they always ask me, okay, so how did you get to this conclusion? Or they'll ask me, you told me that this person seems weird to you and untrustworthy. Why do you think that? And they always ask me this question, so I go back into my own mind and think, okay, why did I think that? Let me think about it. It's because they couldn't look me straight in the eye when I was asking them about if they're happy or not, or what is their life purpose. They kept on moving away or shuffling or doing all that stuff. Their body language is very weird and untrustworthy. That's why I think they're untrustworthy, right? So once I go back into my head, I can explain it to my NTP friends, and they understand me better, and we have a deeper, more better connection because they understand me better, I understand them better. We have a better, meaningful relationship, right? That is why I want you guys to do this. Not because I want you guys to drag everyone along with you, but there are some people who are worthy of it, who need to be told how your mind works, because that's when you're going to have a deeper connection, especially if they're an ENTP or ENFP. They really understand us and they will take the time, they will have the patience to stop and understand, why did you think it that way? What's going on with you? How did you get here rather than there, kind of thing. Explain it to me. My friend always says this to me, stop and explain, stop and explain. And I do. And not only does it help him, obviously, it helps me understand myself better. I think to myself, oh, that is why I think this. Oh, that makes sense. I would never have known that if I hadn't stopped and explained myself to this person in front of me. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope it does make sense to you guys. It is a shorter video. Hopefully that is a good thing. I hope this makes sense. Hopefully you guys will let me know what you guys think about it. Does it happen to you as well? Do you always end up 10 steps ahead of people and having to explain how you got there? Let me know. Let me know in my messages, on comments, and also I would love some suggestions on future videos. If you guys have any things that you specifically are interested in learning about, let me know, yeah? I'll talk to you guys next time around. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.